Hi, I am running very late, so I apologize for that. So give me a few minutes and let me get this shared out to all of the different places that I need to get it shared out to, and then we'll get started. So give me just a second. Hopefully everyone is having a great Wednesday. And I've already gotten a couple of pings that, hey, I thought it was starting and we're not starting. So I again apologize for starting late today. So hopefully we will have um, better luck with this week's live than we did last week. It was a hot mess technology wise last week, so I'm hoping that we have better reception or connectivity or whatever the issue was last week. So, all right, let me share this out. And as you guys join, so of course I can't find the event. Video URL. All right, let me just go there and try it this way. All right, as you join, please announce and let me know that you're there as I try and maneuver through sharing this live out. So I want to share it to the event and then to one of my business pages. So just give me 1 second and then we're going to get started. So we can make the second. There we go. All right, so we've shared that out there. Okay, and then let's go back to. It's not easy sharing. I I really think Facebook needs to create a feature, and I say this. So if you've been on any of my lives, I say this every single time I go on live that I wish they had a functionality that made it so much easier to share this out to the world. You're live. Share this out. All right, let's see if we can get this better. All right, I'm almost done, and then we'll get started. Okay, I think I've shared this out to all the places I need to. One more place, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so okay, all right, so hey, this is Sundey Gardner, your online travel boss, and I'm super excited, as always, to be joining you live this week. Where, hold on, I want to make sure I get the lighting straight. That's why you gotta have. There we go. That's much better. Get the lighting straight in our life, so we're not We don't have all the shadow. Okay, so if you're on, please announce. And don't forget that if you are new to this live and you are joining me live, to actually put your name so that I can send you a voucher stay to Las Vegas. So love to always give those out to my live participants. And if you haven't already received one, then you're absolutely eligible to receive one. Just do it, and it's only for the live people, so I know if you're live. However, if you watch this in the replay, do not hesitate to push hashtag replay. Join me. Hey, Julia, nice here. Nice to have you on. So super excited that you're here. Sorry that I was running late, having a little bit of technical difficulties. And then, as always, it takes me a little bit of time to share this out to all of the people that be. So today's topic is going to be 4 ways that you can launch your travel business. So Julia, I love interacting with people while I'm doing the live. So if you want to tell me a little bit about you, if you are on the fence of jumping and starting your own business, if you have your own business, I'd love to hear from you as we go throughout this live. But we're going to talk about 4 steps that you need to have in place before you launch your business and to ensure that you have a successful business. So as you join, please add your name so that I can reply back to you after this and get you a voucher stay in Las Vegas. Be at a 5-star, I think it's 4-star resort, Westin Resort, Spawn Resort in Las Vegas. So you want to put your name so I can make sure that we can add you to the list. Leaning towards starting my own business, looking forward to learn. Awesome. So great. You are in the right space. So today, and let me again, if you just joined, let me just do a really quick intro again. My name is Sundey Gardner, online travel boss, and so I am host of the Business Jump Off business page for travel lovers, and then also host to a group called How to Start Your Travel Agency. And what do you think that group is about? It's all about how to start your own travel agency. I give tips and tricks and information around launching your travel business. And so we're going to talk a little bit about a program that we've got that is actually closing this week, where we actually dive into launching your business if you're ready to jump and actually start your business. But before we go there, let's talk about the 4 steps to launching a successful business. So if you have been interested in starting your own travel business, you may have come across a myriad of different host agencies, MLM-like agencies or whatever, that are offering you the opportunity to become a travel agent. And I will tell you, that is not what this live is going to be about. I want to touch a little bit about that before we start, because it assumes that when you start your agency that you have at least one travel agent in your business, or you yourself have acquired the superpower for work and love it much and want to learn to monetize my passion. All right, perfect. So you may, Kimber, want to join me tomorrow evening, where I actually am hosting a masterclass, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end too. And that's going to be monetizing your Facebook business using Facebook group, how to monetize your Facebook group. I'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. And that is actually a masterclass that I'm hosting tomorrow. Today, we're going to be focused on how to start a travel business and what are the keys that you need in order to have a successful launch and start of your operations of your business. Okay, so we're talking about what you need in order to start, right? Which is an assumption. And that is either that you are going to pull the trigger and become a travel agent, or you are already a travel agent. So let me touch a little bit about that. That's not part of my 4 steps, but I do want to touch that. You probably have been approached in the past, if you're thinking about it, or you know somebody who is associated with any of the myriad of different travel agencies with the opportunity of being a travel agent. And what I will say about that is hundreds of host agencies. All of them have pros and cons, ups and downs, great things, high in the share, great things about them. And really the only thing that you need to know about a host agency are a couple of things. Is, do they have the right percentage that you're happy with? Are you happy with the fees that they're going to charge you to get the superpower? And that's pretty much it, right? Do they have any restrictions that you need to know about? But really, what you want to do is you want to treat any host agency as your supplier, right? I come from the hair industry background, so I always love to use this as an example. Is when I go to buy my supplies for my salon, when we had a salon, I went to a wholesaler, right? And I, entered in contract with them so that I could purchase supplies with them on wholesale. Same thing with your host agency. Just because you're a travel agent does not automatically make you a business owner. You're going to have to set up shop, and that's what today's topic is about, is you're going to have to set up shop, and these are the 4 steps to setting up shop. All right, so let's talk about that. So what I'm going to say is, again, is if you're not a travel agent, talk to me afterwards, and if you want a recommendation, I'll give you a recommendation. My recommendation solely based on the percentage that they offer, the fee, and the features of their host agency in terms of software, access to suppliers, and that kind of stuff. So again, you need to become a travel agent, or you need to have a travel agent in your business in order to obviously run a travel business. All right, so enough about that. Let's dive into the 4 steps. Super excited about these 4 steps because, we've been doing this pretty much all of this year. We've got a great program that really elaborates on these, but let's start with number 1. And this, actually, there was an article, and I'm going to post that later. Your number 1 step is travel niche. And many people will argue that you do not need to have a travel niche, right? You can just sell travel and you can be the travel agent to everybody, and you don't really need to have a niche. And I would argue that if you really want to be a 6-figure travel business, you want to specialize, and that specialization is going to be the thing that sets you apart from the rest, right? If you want to be a general travel person, the questions that I would ask anyone who says, I want to just, sell travel to everybody, anybody who asks me, how do you narrow down your marketing budget? How do you narrow down your focus? What is it that you train yourself on? If you're new in this industry, what are you going to train on? Do you know that there's got to be at least hundreds of different training, customized travel specialty supplier offer training? How do you become a go-to expert if you are a generalist, right? So you do want to niche down. And what does that mean? What does a travel niche down mean? And so many people don't really understand what a travel niche is. They think it is, oh, well, I'm just going to specialize in a destination and that is all, right? A travel niche, and let me break it down, really is very specific in terms of who your customer base is, what type of travel you're going to specialize. It can include destinations, but it's really focused on a slice of the market, right? When you talk about travel, you're talking about anywhere in the world. You're talking about by any mode of transportation in the world to get there, right? So you're talking by sea, by land, by car, right? Where you're staying. You've got low end to ultra luxury and accommodations. Where are you going to fall in that, Myrid? When you're talking about travel, you're talking about people. What type of person are you going to cater to? What kind of experiences do they want to have when they're traveling, right? So that is a myriad of different things, right? So when we talk about travel niche, we're talking about slice of the industry, right? Vertical or horizontal slice of the industry. My recommendation is to go vertical. I always get vertical and horizontal. I always say, horizon is horizontal, vertical. So you want a vertical slice of the industry. And what do I mean by that? So let's take, for example, we are just now started our business foundations course. And one of the students said they want to focus on wellness, right? So wellness travel. Well, that is certainly a specific niche, right? But one of the things that we'll want to say is wellness in what area, what part of wellness, right? Is that health? Is that mental? Is that physical? What type of wellness? So when you talk about travel niche, you want to go slice vertical down. You want to be able to touch potentially all types of travel if that is what you want to do. But again, it's about specificity, right? Identifying your niche or specific area of the travel industry that you want to focus on, either by destination, by person, by mode of travel, by type of expenses associated with the travel, all inclusive versus a la carte, whatever that may be, right? So selecting a travel niche is step number one. Once you do that, then you can focus everything that you do in your business around that. Your marketing, your branding, your audience, your money, your funds, your vision, everything will be focused around that niche. So I don't want to take lightly the selection of this step, right? And most people don't do this well. Most people even skip it. They just jump in and they say, I've got the superpower travel agent and I am going to start selling travel, right? Although that may be great for you in the beginning, what you will find is that is going to overwhelm you with, sorry, somebody's calling. Overwhelm you with options. It's going to overwhelm you with travel suppliers, training, who's coming at you. You want to be specific. You want to specify who you're going to be servicing, what suppliers you're going to be working with, what your vision for your business is going to be. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but really your niche is going to be really a travel niche is that the niche is surrounded around you, right? In terms of how you select it, right? So you're servicing customers, but you select a niche based on you. Now, if you would like to have some niche ideas, I do have a freebie for you all today. Just let me know just say me, I'd like to have a travel niche ideas, and then I will send you the link for not only the voucher today, since you're watching live, but if you watch this in the replay, I will also send you a link to the niche. I think it's like 50 plus travel niche ideas. And then you can look at all the different types of niches that are available, but that certainly does not represent the entire available niches, because you can create your own niche. You can create your own niche and look to see what you're interested in as a person, and then determine how you can create a travel niche around that. So anyway, if you're interested in that 50 plus travel niche ideas, just put in the comments me, and I will see that, even if you watch it in the replay, and I'll send you the link to get that download. Okay. All right. So number one is niche. Do not take it lightly. Very important step. It's really going to help you focus your business and all of your efforts going forward once you select your travel niche. And there was a great article a couple of weeks ago in Travel Weekly about how when you niche down, it really does allow you to increase your profits. Most people who are not in the business or new to creating their own businesses think that being a generalist is the best thing. But even in the travel industry, niching down and being vertical in your selection for your business is going to be the best way for you to be profitable. And then focus all of your efforts and time, dollars, effort, and time into that niche, so that everybody understands exactly who you are, what you offer, and what you do. And that's what you want when you have a business. All right. Number two is business structure and licensing. So 5 states. Five states that require a special license when you're a travel agent and you're selling travel in that state, right? So you want to make sure that if you are one of those states, that you actually have the proper licensing. You want to also ensure, for Uncle Sam's purposes, that you are legitimate. What would be the worst thing to do is that you follow all of these steps. Skip number 2. Don't appropriately create the right business structure for you, not only from a structure perspective and licensing perspective, but also from a tax perspective, right? What's going to get you? I am not about avoiding taxes. I'm about tax reduction, right? So positioning your business such that you're paying the least amount of taxes, right? Getting the most amount of profit out of your business. And so establishing the right business structure, working with your accountant and or your attorney, depending on what type of structure you decide on, is critical step. Most people just decide to go with sole proprietorship or don't even really legitimately create a business business and they're sort of mixing everything. And then you look up a couple of years down and Uncle Sam's knocking on your door and you've got this great profitable business, but then, Uncle Sam wants a huge chunk of it, right? Because you didn't define what your business structure is. So I want to make sure that you do that. That's number two. And again, just because you partner with a host agency does not automatically mean that you've created the correct business structure. You cannot rely on that partnership with your agency, with a host agency, to ensure that you've set up your business properly. So you want to make sure that you do that. That's going to be step number two. All right, step number 3 and 4 are my favorite. Those are things that are close to my heart, but those are the things that really get into who you are as a business. So number 3 is branding. And so when people think of branding, they usually think of logo. They think of, some people just only think of branding as your logo, right? What is the logo and the name of the business, right? And I will venture to tell you that logo is probably the very last thing of branding that you want to do. The very first thing that you want to do when it comes to branding your business and thinking of the brand of your business is to define a vision for your business. I was sort of going to rhyme those all together, right? To define a vision for your business. Say that 10 times, right? Define a vision for your business is step number 3. Step number 1, a part of the branding step, right? Which is, who are you? So again, when you think of your niche, that's going to play into your brand, right? Who are you as a business? Branding also, when you think of your vision, it identifies who your target audience is. And I will tell you, when I first started and as an entrepreneurship, I skipped all these things, right? I just went right into selling as I thought, right? Some 10, 15, 2006. So how many years is that? That we're 15 makes 10. So I don't know, 13 years, 14 years. You can't do the math in terms of being an entrepreneur, small business owner. And when we just jumped, right? We just jumped in and we're like, we're going to open up a business and forget the rest. And I will tell you the only reason why some 15 years later that we're still in business is a couple of reasons. I had capital. I worked full time, a 6-figure job. And so I was able to pour money relentlessly into that business, even though we didn't do those steps, right? So if you don't have capital and you're not able to pour money relentlessly into your business while you learn and figure all these things out, then you most likely will fall into the trap that most entrepreneurs do, which is you don't have a vision, you don't think about your target audience, and there are years that you won't make money, months that you won't make money, right? Can you afford to do that when you launch your business, right? Is this what you want to do? And if you do want to do this, do it the right way, right? And if you don't know how to do it, that's where you want to hire a professional, right? Either learn it or hire somebody to step you through it, right? So we didn't have a vision for our barbershop when we first opened. I had a vision for our salon when we subsequently opened that, but I didn't have a vision for our business. And I didn't really know who our customers were. So I just went out random and just started marketing, right? That's very, very expensive. This was pre-Facebook. This was pre-social media where, so we did a lot of guerrilla marketing. We did a lot of flyer printing. We did a lot of, foot traffic. We spent a lot of money and effort marketing our barbershop, right? If you're in a full-time job and it's just you and you don't have the benefit of having your husband, your kids, your friends, your family, everybody who you know pass out flyers for your business, then you want to think about who your audience is. And what does that mean? Right? That's sort of nebulous for new entrepreneurs. What does audience mean? Who is my audience? Well, anybody who's got cash and wants to buy my services, right? Well, it's a little bit more in depth than that, right? So when you talk about who your target audience is, let's take the travel industry and let's take my niche, for example. My niche in the travel industry is luxury, cruise, and group travel. And my target audience is couples and families, right? But when I market my travel business, I am speaking to women, right? The reason why I'm speaking to women and I'm looking for women who are married, who have children, who make a certain income and who are interested in travel, right? So there's some other things that I look for as well, right? So I've got a whole avatar about my client, but specifically the reason why I'm looking for women when I market so all of my ads, all of my material is focused around women is because the women usually who are planning the trips are the ones planning the trips, right? So I want to speak to a woman who is interested in planning a trip for her family, who is interested in non-traditional travel, right? So she's not interested in just going to Jamaica or Mexico. She's looking for experiences beyond those destinations, right? So she may be looking for the Mediterranean, Europe. She may be looking for, something that's going to be family friendly, right? So you understand understanding who your audience is and what they're looking for. This woman that I'm looking for, she does not want to do it herself. She is looking not for economics, she's looking for convenience, right? She's looking for she's looking for luxury, right? She's accustomed to luxury. She's accustomed, I've got a list of the things that she's accustomed to. I've got a list of the things that she likes to do when she travels, when she's at home. I have a list of things so I intimately understand who my customer is, right? That's what I mean by targeting, right? And my understanding of my customer is based on research, right? So really understanding who your customer is, what she's looking for, or he or they or whomever, what they're looking for, what they're struggling for, and why they would want to select you as a travel agent is a part of that branding process, right? Is a part of that vision, because your job as their travel agent is to fulfill those needs, right? It's to fulfill whatever or to alleviate the struggle of whatever it is that they're struggling with. But you've got to know what those things are. You've got to be intimately aware and knowledgeable and speak in the language that they would speak in so that they can relate to you, right? So that's a lot, right? That's a mouthful to say, right? Not only know so it's not about, most people, when I start working with them and we start talking about vision and brand, most people come back to me is, I want a business where, they get a great customer service experience. Well, that's great, right? But that doesn't really tell you anything at all about a vision of a business, right? Customer service, what does that mean, right? Good, what does good mean, right? I want my customers to be happy, right? Well, what does happy mean, right? That's not a good vision statement. What's really good is I want to provide all one-stop shopping services from a travel planning perspective to mothers who are planning trips for their family to the following destinations, right? So my vision is I want my customers to stop with me, right? When they have an idea for planning a trip for their customers, they come to me and they look to me not only to book their accommodations, but to help them plan out their itinerary, right? To make sure that every possible nuance of their trip is covered, right? Their excursions, their activities, what they're going to do when they're in town, how they're going to get there, every single part of it stops with me. That's the type of experience I want my customers to have when they interact with my business, right? That is a vision for your brand, right? Hopefully that makes sense. If you're on and you listen and you're listening now, let me know if that makes sense or if that's still kind of nebulous. But that vision, as with niche, sometimes is a very difficult thing for people to get around because they're used to talking in generalities and they're used to talking in non-specifics, right? Talking about, I want to be number one. I want to do this, right? And, being number one, number two, number three, it doesn't really matter, really, as long as you are speaking the language of your customer, right? So again, if you know who your customer is, you understand what she's struggling with, you understand what she needs and what she's looking for, and you speak that language. So what I'd love you to do is right now, let me know if that's making sense in the comments. Just tell me, yeah, it's making sense, or give me some hearts or something like that. Just let me know that that's making sense for you. So step one in the branding section is defining your vision. So I'm gonna pause a little bit. I remember when I was defining our vision for our, and as I create new businesses, I'm always having to go through this exercise of defining the vision, right? Even with the business jump off, right? This is a coaching side of my business, right? So I coach people to help them with becoming entrepreneurs. And right, so the vision for my business in the coaching side, right? So we talked a little bit about on the travel side, but on the coaching side is that I help new entrepreneurs understand the steps to launching successful businesses, right? I don't want you to have to figure out on your own what it means to have a business structure or what it means to brand your business, right? So when I think of the vision for my business is it's creating a guide, it's creating coaching, it's creating training, it's creating support that allows new entrepreneurs to be in a safe environment as they are planning the launch of their business and then ultimately once they launch operating their businesses, right? So hopefully that vision that I'm talking about in terms of what you've got to create makes sense. All right. Okay. So then step 2 in the brand is now that you have a vision, you understand who your audience is. It's then creating a feel through the use of brand assets like your logo, your colors, your imagery, all of those visual representations that are going to evoke emotion that represents who you are as a business, right? So the logo is only defined after you determine who it is that you are, right? If you are, let's say your goal is to provide budget travel for, the everyday person, right? In terms of a particular price point, I'm picking that out, right? Having swirly fonts and, having something that looks Gucci is probably not the best thing, right? When you're thinking budget friendly, right? But if you have something that you want to provide an ultra luxury brand, right? Having Gucci in terms of your inspiration, in terms of what your brand, your colors, your logo, your imagery is going to look like and what your website and all that's going to look like, maybe that is a good inspiration for you because that's probably similar in terms of the market. Hopefully, again, that makes sense. Logo after vision, assets, your brand assets after you define who you are as a business and who you're servicing, right? So you want to make sure that you understand who you're servicing so that you create a brand that is going to speak to those people, right? So logo is not your brand alone. It really is about who you are as a business and the emotions that your business is going to invoke in your customers such that when they see you, know you, they are like, oh, I know exactly what it is that she does. And they start to understand specifically when they see your naming and your branding, right? Okay, so brand is your number 3. Big area, right? So you get big step areas to be able to do that. And unfortunately for new entrepreneurs, these are sort of nebulous, right? People really don't understand that, but these are critical steps for your success. If you want to be a 6-figure travel business owner, you don't skip niche. You don't skip business organization and structuring and licensing. You don't skip brand definition and you don't just jump in and start selling travel. I mean, you can, but ultimately you're not going to be 6 figures, right? You're just going to be somebody who's doing one-off travel and you're not really having a business. All right. The very last step, critical as is all the other 3, is marketing and positioning. And so when I say marketing and positioning, most people, they say, well, marketing is me posting on social media, right? It's me telling people on social media that I've got a package and that's all that marketing is. And it is so not. It is so not the only thing that marketing is. Marketing in a nutshell is your ability to attract strangers to your offers, make people aware of who you are in the marketplace that are your target audience, and convert them to paying clients. If you can do that well, you will not a successful travel business. You will have a successful 6-figure plus travel business if you can consistently attract strangers to your business and convert them to paying clients, right? So you are not going to build a business on your friends and family, unless, of course, your friends and family are in the multitude, thousands of people that are ready to spend on your services based on your niche, right? Likely, unlikely that is the case. You will get some business from your friends and family, and I want you to get business from your friends and family. But I don't want you to try and build an entire business around your friends and family. Your ability to attract strangers to your products and services and convert them to paying clients is all about what marketing is, right? So you're like, well, how do I attract strangers to my business, right? You've got to know who your audience is. You've got to know what they want, right? You need to know what they desire, or you have to have a product that solves their problems, right? In the travel business, it's so simple because travel ultimately sells itself, right? So as a travel agent, you've got to position yourself to be better than do-it-yourselfers or other travel agents in the niche that you've selected, right? So let's say ultra, and I pick my luxury, I pick my industry because that's what I'm familiar. I pick my niche because that's what I'm familiar with. But let's pick, because we're just starting to work on this in the program. My student, and she is doing wellness, right? So she just posted this yesterday, and she said she's going to be doing wellness travel. I frankly don't even really know what wellness travel is, right? I'm not the expert in all different types of niches that exist, but I am the expert in peeling back the onion to ensure that whatever it is that you select, that you've done the due diligence to really understand what that market is, and that you understand who your audience is such that you can sell to them, attract them, and sell to them. So, when we have our coaching session tonight, this is what I'm probably going to talk to her about is, well, what is wellness, right? What does that mean for you? Right? What is wellness, right? Again, and I mentioned this before, is that physical wellness? Is that mental wellness? What is that? What does that mean, right? Because again, when we pick our niches and we pick our vision, we're used to operating in generalities, right? We're used to operating in words that are very high level because oftentimes we're lazy. The point blank, we're lazy. We don't want to do the work to figure out the next third, fourth, fifth level of detail such that we can answer the questions that I am going to make you peel back on when you're in the program. So wellness, I'm going to be like, okay, physical, mental, all of the above. How can you do all of the above? And how does travel relate to that? So when you think of that, what does that mean to you, right? What are you like? Is somebody who's already sick and you're going to allow them to travel? Is it somebody who is, is it preventative, right? What does that mean, right? And when you're marketing, you've got to know exactly what that means. You got to know exactly who you're talking to. You ladies who are on this live, right? You are one of two types of people, right? Because I know my target. You either have a travel business and you're thinking about doing a travel business because you love travel, right? Because I sought you out. I sought you out in my marketing. I used words that were attractive to you based on the state that you are in your decision-making process, either about to start a business or you started a business and your business is not successful, right? You've got to do the same thing when you have a travel business. You've got to know who your customer is. So when you do that first level of marketing, which I call stranger marketing, right? That attraction marketing, that's attracting strangers. You know exactly what they're looking for, right? So let's say you're looking for cruisers, right? You want to do a stranger offer that's going to attract people who are looking for cruises, first-time cruisers, right? So maybe an article. We're actually working on this right now. So we're actually working on my top 10 tips for first-time travel, first-time cruisers, right? We'll be advertising that article, that download. So what is that going to tell me? Every person that downloads that 10 tips, right, are what? Interested in cruising, right? They're also first-time cruisers, right? So first-time cruisers, right? I'm going to spin that article. We haven't finished it, but we've just started doing middle of the road cruises or ultra luxury cruises, right? That will be the way that I spin the content of that article. But do you understand what I'm going is, right? Is that I'm going to attract strangers by using a piece of content that's going to be relevant to them and that's going to allow me to qualify them as a potential customer. And then I'm going to nurture the hell out of them, right? I'm going to love on them and I'm going to nurture and build the relationship such that when they're prepared to actually pull the trigger on cruising, they're going to think about that crazy black lady who's got curls in her hair, who talked to her all about cruising and who's been talking to her for the last several days, weeks, or however long I intend to make that campaign about cruising, right? And then I'm going to spring on a package for them, right? That's going to be in line with what they want, because I already know that, right? Because I've gotten inside of their head. I've asked them questions, or whatever I'm going to do as a part of that campaign makes me understand who my customer is. That's all that marketing is, right? It's not about posting randomly to social media, to your friends and family on your pages of people who are not your target audience. It's about creating a community of people who are your target audience and then posting to them relevant information and giving them information that's pertinent to them, important to them based on their pain points or their desires, right? That's what marketing is, right? So if you want to be a successful business owner, you got to have number 4 down. You got to know who your customer is. You got to have products and services that are going to address their pain points or address their desires, right? One of those 2 things, and then you've got a recipe for success, right? So those are the 4 things that are the 4 steps. So hopefully those things make sense. All right. So I'm looking over the notes. And I see that we've got some people who want the travel niche idea. So perfect. I will ping you and message you the link after this. And then we've got some make sense. So that's great. So I want to make sure that those 4 steps really resonate with you. So if you are already a travel agent, and then, like I said, I know my customers, right? I know who my prospective customers. I attract women because that is my customer base. It's not that I don't like men. I personally like working with women, business owners, either existing business owners or new business owners, right? So my niche, I get to define who I want to work with, as do you as a business owner. You don't have to work with people you don't want to. You don't have to work with people that you don't care to work with. This is your business. You get to define it however you want and get to pick whoever you want. Now, isn't that like sort of liberating, right? When you work for a job, you don't get to pick your boss. You don't get to pick your customer. All that's done by the person who defined that vision for that business. But for your business, you get to pick who you work with, what you work on, and when you want to work on it, right? So I enjoy working with women business owners because I think we're underrepresented, under I'm having a little bit of tongue tying today. We're underrepresented in the marketplace. So I love to work with women business owners and new business owners since they are setting the direction for their business correctly. All right. So I know my market. So you're either on the fence, you're ready to jump, or you've already jumped and you're not making sales, right? Because you don't join my group if you're wildly successful because you've already figured it out, right? I work with people who haven't figured it out or need direction figuring it out. And so I've got this for you today. Those 4 steps I have wrapped up into a program called Business Foundations. Now, I normally offer this program. We just started this program this year. We are on now round 5. But here's the thing. This is the last offering for 2008. We just started this week. I am closing enrollment at the end of this week. And what does this enrollment involve? It involves 8 weeks of actually going through these 4 steps in detail such that you set up your travel business properly, that you are operating properly, and you've got these foundational items in place, right? So we started this week. It ends right at the end of October, the beginning of November. And what do you get when you join this program? What you get is you get 4 modules that dive deep in these 4 areas that we talked about, your niche. We get your travel niche defined. We get it ironed out, making sure that we peel the onion to a level that allows you to actually operate your business at. I'm going to give you the travel niche ideas and you can see all the different items. But again, we want to design a travel niche around your likes and your desires because this is what you're going to be talking about for a very long time. I at least tell people when they select the niche, let's say it's a destination specific niche, that you're going to dive into that for at least 12 to 18 months, right? So who the heck wants to pick a niche or an area that they're not interested in, right? Because you're going to be repeating yourself a lot, right? So you're going to want to be vested in the niche that you select. Don't pick something that you don't like. Don't pick something that you're not interested in. Don't pick something that you think, oh, it's going to make you a lot of money, because at the end of the day, money does not solve boredom. It does not solve the fact that you can't stand talking about fill in the blank every single day. You can't stand, putting together packages or talking to customers who only talk about this one thing, because that's what your niche is, right? So we really design a niche around your likes and your desires and the things that you want to find out about, right? In module 2, we really make sure that you are set up legally, right? And that you've got all of the steps, right, that you need in terms of correct business structure formation, that you haven't skipped anything, and you've got all the things in place so that you are a legal business entity, not only so that you can make money, but that you can also deduct the proper expenses on the personal side that are associated with your business, right? Number 3, we dive into branding, your vision for your business. Again, not surface, at a very deep enough level such that you can remain focused on what it is that you're focusing. You're spending your time, your dollars, and your effort on the right areas that you need to do based on the vision that you want to see for your business. And marketing, we really dive deep into, when I say dive deep, from a marketing perspective, my goal in the 8 weeks is for you to get first paying clients, right? It's for you to at least establish a marketing plan that's going to attract people to your packages such as you get your first paying clients in that first 8 weeks. And that's what we focus on in the 8-week course, right? So this course started this week. It's not too late to still join in. I'm closing enrollment at the end of the week. So that today is Wednesday. So I'm closing enrollment on Saturday because we start a second module. So you have this week to still catch up. And we're going to be closed for the rest of the year. After that, I'm not going to be offering the course until 2019. I can't believe that we're already talking about 2019. But when I looked at the calendar, I was going to try and squeeze in one more. And I'm like, no, if I do that, that doesn't leave enough time for me to plan out 2019 like I like to do and have that time. So this is our last class of the year, right? So what do you get? Not only do you get access to the modules, you also get access to a Facebook group where we are inside of the group working through each of the modules every week within a group, right? So you get me looking at your homework, looking at the material that you're providing, looking at your specific vision, your brand, your niche, giving you feedback and making sure that you're going in the right direction. If you have questions, you get that support. You also get weekly group coaching calls. That is every week for 8 weeks. And then you get lifetime access to that material. You get to stay in the group. So when I launch it again, if you need to go over any particular areas, you can go through it again as many times as you want. You get access and you get to stay in the group, right? All right. So this is the last time that we're offering it in 2018. This year, we have done a really great job with this program. I really am very super proud. Not just because of me, but because of the amazing students that have gone through the program and they've been able to launch, they've been able to get their first paying clients, and they've been able to create a really great foundation for their business. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, please reach out. Let me know. I'll get you the link with the information on that. I'll actually include that at the top of this live such that you can take a look at that. Again, enrollment is ending on Saturday. That still gives you enough time to catch up for this week's information that we've gone through. We've got group coaching call every Wednesday night for the next 8 weeks as we close out 2018. So super excited for the people who are here today. What you're going to get for those people who were live, you're going to get a voucher for Las Vegas. So let me make sure I've got all of the people here. I've got Julia live. I got Kimber. That's Julia again. All right, so I've got those 2 people who were live with me today, and then you guys also expressed interest in the 50 ideas for the travel niche ideas. Do you guys have any questions for me? Do you have any concerns or things that we talked about that you'd like to get a little bit more information? But I will make sure to send you the voucher information and the niche ID. I am going to ping you guys independently because I do need your email address to send you the voucher. And then I'll send you the link so that you can do the travel niche ideas item. But if you don't have any questions, I just want to talk a little bit about what I alluded to at the beginning of this, which is tomorrow night. We do have a masterclass. If you are a travel agent and you watch this in the replay, we do have a masterclass tomorrow night. And that masterclass is going to be on monetizing your Facebook group. So if you have been thinking about a Facebook group, and you don't know anything about how to really structure the group such that you are making money off of the group for your travel business, then you're going to want to join this masterclass. The cost for that masterclass is $27. Not only do you get to participate in it live, if you need to miss it, you'll get access to the replay. There's also going to be a workbook that will allow you to plan out your Facebook group and then get it structured so that you can start making money on your Facebook group. All right. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So I'll include the link for this as well if you watch that and you want to participate in that. Okay, so Kimber, we talk about recommendations for host agencies. I talk about that for the people who have joined the program, because here's the reason why. People will jump into a host agency, and my recommendation, again, I'm not affiliated. I'll even tell you, it's outside agents. And the reason I selected outside agents is because the cost point is pretty economical. They have 3 levels of membership, and the second level, which is the one I recommend, is $21 a month. And the reason I recommend outside agents now is because of their tools. It's 80% split on commission, and they have a set of software tools that every travel agent needs, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So I don't know if they're trying to become a software provider for the travel agency, but they're doing a great job so far. So for $21 a month, you cannot find this because I've looked for it. You get a CRM package, you get a customizable website. You also get access to all the other suppliers that some of the other, I was affiliated with another host agency, and I've not identified any of the host agent suppliers that this outside agents is not affiliated with. So I get a higher percentage, I get access to tools. They have CRM and email marketing, although I still recommend an email marketing provider outside of theirs, because theirs is only linked to the CRM. It's not necessarily, they haven't built it yet that's elaborate enough to connect to like sales pages and that kind of thing. But I really like their tool sets, and I like that they're just like all the in terms of connections with suppliers. And frankly, that is all that you need. You need tools, right? You need tools, you need commission percentage, and you need connection to suppliers. Your number one reason to get to a host agency is connection to the suppliers. Immediate connection, already established contracts. You don't have to worry about what the percentages are. You don't have to worry about establishing them. That's it. So an economical way. Now, as with all host agencies, they do not build a business for you, right? This recommendation, as with all other recommendations or other host agencies, they give you the superpower. They don't teach you how to use the superpower. They don't teach you these 4 items. They do a cursory job of giving you some recommendations, but they do not dive deep into the 4 areas that I dive deep to in the program. And that, I think, is what's faulty. And that is where I saw that most people who become travel agents, they're not experienced in the industry, so they don't have the business background to have created a business to know how to do that. That's where this program fills that gap. It provides you with the foundation, really. So if you remember when I said, back in 2006, we didn't have social media, right? So the only way to market your business was through the big 3, which I call it, which was radio, print, or television. And you it's so funny now because you don't take out ads in paper anymore, but that's what we did in 2006. Took an ad in our local paper. We were in the green sheet ads, right? You remember that? We did local advertising, with flyers on people's doors and that kind of stuff. And although that is still a viable way to advertise. It is so much more economical to advertise through Facebook advertising to be able to target your audience so much better. But we didn't have the same avenues that I did when I first started my business. And so I tell you all that to say is, when you partner with a host agency, their goal for you is just to book travel. Now, you would think that their goal would be to teach you how to book travel so that you can book more of it so they can make more money, but that's really not important to them because they're making money off the fees that you're paying. And then if you book travel, they get a percentage of that as well, right? But really building a business and building a business that is your name branded business is not their expertise. That's not what they're focused on. So, I haven't found, I know that many of the host agencies will offer additional training at cost, right? It's not free. Most of the free training that host agencies offer or give you access to is travel supplier training. So, and that is what you need in order to get your niche defined, and make sure that you're an expert in your niche, is that travel specific training. But the business side of the house is what I'm offering, and the coaching side. All right. Are there any other questions? Make sure that because there's always about a 15-second lag on that. So yes, my recommendation would be outside agents right now. But again, you can go with any agency that you feel comfortable with. If there's some additional perks that you like that one host agency is offering over another, again, I think of a host agency as a supplier to my business, right? My customers have no idea who I host or partner with. That's none of their business, frankly. And they are a way that I'm able to do business. That's the only relationship that I have with from a host perspective. They're just a supplier. They're a vendor of mine. So perfect. Good. All right. So Kimber, it was great having you on. And if you think of any other questions, if you, again, watch this in the replay and you think of any questions, feel free to ask them. And I get the little notification that you've asked a question and I will ping you. But if you watch this live, expect a direct message from me in just a short while. And I'll get you the information that we talked about in this live. It was great having you on, and hopefully you're on my email list and you will get the notification for next week's live. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. If you'd like to join me in the masterclass tomorrow, just go ahead and hit that link that I'm going to post, and we'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you next week. Have a great day.